What's going on, everyone? So my internet is out again thanks to Comcast power outage, which is kind of annoying. This has been happening too much on and off. So I'm going to have to record on my phone and do this video. Now, this right here is going to be an interesting video because Sony finally breaks silence after announcing that they're going to be ending physical disc production in 2028. And a lot of people are angry because this is not the silence that you want broken. You were hoping for a reply to that outrage. Pretty much the biggest drama in gaming history, damn near, right? Yeah, it's right there on PlayStation. We know what everything Microsoft did is catastrophic, but this isn't new. This is what Microsoft's been doing for a decade, so we're kind of used to this. But this right now seems to be the biggest drama in the gaming industry and the biggest rage because, like I said, Sony is the biggest third-party platforming publisher in the industry. They've supported third-party games the most. They run disc phenomenons historically. Remember when PlayStation had CDs? That was a phenomenon in the 90s, just like the Walkman was. Sony always had hardware phenomenons. It's the physical crowds. You see what I mean? It's a huge thing. Remember when PlayStation 2 was $199 and you can buy it for a DVD player for $199? A lot of people were doing that. That's physical media. And that's the most sold console in history. Remember when PlayStation 3 came out, you had Blu-rays. When it comes to physical media, Sony has a large history. So a lot of people want some sort of remedy, some sort of quelling saying that, you know what, we heard you. So you know what we're going to do? But Sony hasn't said that. But here's the thing, though. We still got to 2028 to see how this really plays out. But the way Sony has been handling this lately, they're just going Darth Vader on the gaming industry right now. I told you guys, like I told everybody else before, Microsoft does dumb things. Sony's not stupid. Sony's manipulative. They will do that. So let's get into this. Become a member. Leave a tip down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Now, going down, let's get right into these comments. Dagon says, he memes like, hold on, man. Domino's Pizza in the UK, who's already memed Sony before, said, did someone order a digital pizza? So right here, you kind of get the idea. This is where you realize that this is bigger than anything else because it goes outside of the gaming industry. Guys, do we understand that? It's not just something gaming oriented now. This thing goes into Hollywood's worlds, the movie industry, TV shows, just people working at certain electronic companies that are not gamers. Everybody is speaking out that works in physical constructs in the world, right? Everybody, right? And there's been a lot of memes against him too. Even Hideo Kojima came out and spoke out that made him sad. He did. And a lot of other people are coming out saying the same thing. So this is what makes this crazy because you're like, wait, hold on. Why am I seeing non-gaming related companies like Domino's coming in saying something? And they did. Look at that. That generated 1.2 million views. Did we see that right there? And if we go up to this post right now, it's already up to 12.4 million. Sony coming out and pretty much trying to flex the flex strike. Like, this is your response. That's not going to work. What you're going to do is you're going to cause up another uproar. And we see that that's kind of going on right here, right now. KGN Gamer says, give us physical disc back. F Sony. Oh, I didn't even notice that till I looked at the way that that was kind of formed together. That's absolutely comical. Oh, boy. Oh, man. How hilarious. You might want to change those views, though, at the end. Okay, so Dea says, ain't no effing way, man. Roses are red. Violets are blue, not buying digital. So if you, well, we got a lot of profanity going on as a response to Sony. So this is a realistic expression from gamers. Gas says this is fine. And he posts a meme with the PlayStation Flex stick. Yeah, guys, let's go ahead and call that the PlayStation Flex stick. Sony's coming out and flexing their Flex stick against you. They're memeing back as a response. Oh, just pay attention to this from Marvel fighting Tokon, right? After we just had the biggest uproar in gaming history. How crazy is this getting? So we see the little cartoon meme right here. This is fine. That one actually is pretty good too and cute in a way. But here's the thing though, like I'm disappointed in Sony too because it's like, listen, Sony, you don't understand, like, you have to remedy this better. This is why they're doing this a couple years early, guys, because they know how psychology works. Now, if Sony was going to go ahead and do this prior to the launch, right before PlayStation 6 came out, that would be catastrophic. This is why they're doing it ahead of time. And they're going to see how things happen. I want you to think about that. This is why I say that Sony is not stupid. What Microsoft was stupid is they did that right as they were getting ready to announce their next-gen console that year to get ready at E3, at the biggest gaming expo at that time. It's all about timing and execution in this industry. That's some very important things here. Now, this does not justify what Sony is doing. Either it's very villainous and wrong and greedy, or it's not. And it is. It doesn't matter if you do it 3 years early or right before the launch. But that also just tells you the difference between Sony and Microsoft, and also the difference in the position of Sony and Microsoft. Now, Microsoft is defeated and out of the industry, and Sony's left to do what they kind of want to the extent of Nintendo getting up in their face, and they now have that third-party portion. This is why you want more competition. And it's not an argument, it's a realization that Sony will monopolize. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to do what Steam is doing on the Windows world, where it's like they control all the digital, they control the third party, and it's up to you, it's up to them how you're given a sell. It's up to them how anything in pricing is controlled. You're not getting anything from Walmart and Walmart discounts. You're not getting anything from Amazon discounts. You're not getting anything from Target. You're not getting anything from Best Buy. You're not getting anything from GameStop. You don't get to trade in nothing and get lesser money. You're just always going to be paying Sony fully 24/7. Publishers get a cut in on this too, but I think some publishers like different exposure outlets, and that's physical. And that's the thing, because people still go outside all the time. There's got a whole world out there. You think people get up and go to work and turn on electricity and all that. The physical world is still very viable and present. But the thing here is that Sony is saying that you're all just are going to be going into my digital matrix if you want to get that PSSR2 setting in the third-party perspective outside of PC. If I want to be getting money hats that are only going to be on my console, first-party games that are only on my console, and if you're just a console guy and you can't do the PC game because you don't want to, and there's a lot of people like that. If you're just a PlayStation Nintendo guy or a PlayStation-only guy your whole life and you've been doing physical, you're like, I've been loyal to you, Sony, my whole life, and you're cutting me off. I can understand why you feel that way. So there's a lot of different ways of looking at this, and it's interesting seeing how they're replying. Let's keep going down here. Rhino says, bring back physical games, no disc, no buy. Right? 452,000. No matter what post is going on, it's huge. This thing has not died down. It is still just in a huge uproar. Nick Tech says, Sony, there's something that you should address, the elephant in the room, right? But Sony is letting you know what they thought the whole time. They were silent, they were watching, and then after Microsoft announces everything yesterday, they come and finally post. And Microsoft is still doing stuff. So it kind of gives you an idea about this timing and execution. This is what I was telling you before. They know what they're doing. But I think that this is going to be bothering them for quite some time. But as usual, something else always breaks out and attracts people elsewhere. Something in politics, something else. I don't think this is going to last all the way to 2028. But in the meantime, yeah, man, give it to them, guys. I don't blame you. So Fake says, bring back physical, you cowards. We demand it. Here's the thing. It hasn't happened yet. So Sony still can backtrack. This is what people need to understand. It's like, yeah, no, they can still backtrack. It's not 2028 and it's not in effect. That's the thing here. Why I say people should still keep on fighting against this, because it's not set in stone until Sony says officially that it's set in stone, and then launch the PlayStation 6 and there's no physical. Either way, if that does happen, people are still going to complain that day that happens. It just won't be as big as this. Generational Game XP says they tweeted, get them, let's get them, boys. And Sony should have known that the moment they tweet something, that next tweet, you're going to have millions of views come in there, because that's just how things are. Everybody's sitting there waiting. What are you going to do next? What's your next move? What's going to happen? And here it is. And this wasn't the only post. They posted something else, the PlayStation Plus monthly, which we'll get to that and see what's going to be going on there. Bowie says, play has no limits. Pretty much, give us back. Play has no limits. But play has limits when you're forcing me to go digital. Play has limits when you don't allow me to own anything, right? Because this is what happens. Like, you're saying I don't, right? If there's no physical, then you really don't have a ownership like GOG. And that is a problem to gamers. So this is why we see play has limits now. And that's going to be a thing that's going to be happening a lot. And I think it is a great meme here. I mean, we could be reading some of these comments on some of these facets, which I think is pretty funny, but we already know what's going down here. JCHIP says, we want to own our games. No disc, no buys. I'm telling you, you know those people that are retro gamers. You know those people that have a huge wall of games all in their rooms. That crowd is still very big. Hideo Kojima is one of them. He loves owning things. I have friends that are hoarders too, and this is really bothering them right now. They're getting very angry about this. And they're hoping that Sony could at least, you know, think about reversing this, or if you don't want to do it, let somebody else do it and say, okay, we'll allow other companies to do that and give you physical copies, even if it's limited. There's still something to that. Now, I don't know if you guys know what Sony said is that even after 2028, if a game is released, it will forever be able to have physical copies unless somebody stops doing that. But gamers want more than that. They said, no, even after 2028, we still want physical. And if you don't want to do it, Sony, allow somebody else to do it. You know how like limited run games used to make physical copies for indies and indie developers and other publishers and developers because they couldn't do that. They didn't have the money. Well, Sony could set up something like that where you have third-party disc support from other aspects to say, we'll make the disc if you want, right? There's always other options if they want to do that. And if not, then yeah, they just want to control the whole market. And Sony has been getting sued for digital monopoly, just like Steam has been getting sued for digital monopolies across the world. 100%. And this isn't the first time it's happened either. So this is getting interesting by the hour. 463,000 views just for this. I'm telling you, no matter who posts, they get a ton of views. Club Real says, I know your PR strategy for over 20 years has been to sit things out and ignore noise, but something tells me that won't work this time. LOL. Yeah, I kind of think like this type of issue, like I said, because Sony has such history with disc in general. Remember I told you PS1 disc phenomenon, PS2 DVD phenomenon, PS3 Blu-ray phenomenon, PS4 against Microsoft, and they say, here's how you share things. Sony always had some type of phenomenon every generation, and when PS5, you launch with the disc. This is going to be the first time in history where Sony does not do this, and they are saying specifically they may not even be giving you an option. They haven't said that, but this is what I want to find out. Are Sony going to tell people that when the PS6 comes out, you have the chance to get an optional disc drive? And how I'm going to do this, because I'm not going to design my console around that, I'm going to save money and try to sell it as cheap as possible. If you plug into this USB socket, you'll be able to plug that USB into an external hard drive or disk drive or something. And then you could put the disc in there. I don't know, man. Like, it just makes me think, like, how are we going to do this, right? You would have to design the console. Honestly, no, you can't get away with that. Yeah, you would have to design the console. I'm trying to think of any other way for you guys to basically have an attachable disk drive. You remember when, guys, this is interesting. Remember when Sony did the GTA 6 digital reveal? They deleted that post, and people thought that that's because it wasn't best to play on PlayStation, and then they removed the disk drive image. I want you guys to remember that and go back to that post. That's something I think people have forgotten, because Rockstar was promoting the no digital realm. They have the biggest influence right now for third-party launch in history. And they started that. Ever since Rockstar has done that, we saw Sony follow suit. You think this is not strategized? Microsoft's been doing it. Steam has been doing it. Look at the Xbox Series S. That's the most sold Xbox console this generation. And there's no disc there. Game Pass for people who have an Xbox Series X. But of course you got to get that, because whether you want to or not, it's much more powerful. But if you're going straight on Game Pass all day, you're not supporting physical games. You're not even supporting digital. You're not buying anything. You see how the whole medium was trying to move you and manipulate you and get you comfortable to renting and feeling comfortable about not buying or supporting anything, but just giving these corporations idle fees. And then there'll be some times where you're not even using the service like that, and they're just taking the idle fee. They get paid anyways. TY says, do my physical games scare you? Look at this. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people around the world that are like this. They need their physical medium. Hard Vlad says, let's fight something empty. Let's fight somewhere empty. I mean, yeah. Oh, man, that's absolutely great. That just made my day. Oh, man. So, yeah, guys, this is it right here. You're not seeing any posts. This is crazy. Not be like almost 100,000 views or like at least over 50,000 views. All these posts are crazy high. Look at this. It's 365,000. Don't kill video games. Ew, I stepped in S, right? And they're basically saying PlayStation is being crap right now. Patrick is a snitch, says, boys, they finally tweeted a symbol, right? Guys, everywhere, physical games are a massive win. We're basically seeing everybody come after Sony right here. Stop killing games account official. No CD, no PlayStation. Play has limits. 92,000 views right here. It's everywhere. And there it is, guys. If you even go back to the PlayStation page, which is actually interesting, the next post, this Sony just posted again. Here we go. Okay, so now we got a post for the PlayStation Plus monthly games for July are available today. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, For the King, and Crosscode. Then the third post is, what's life for a half vampire and rebel wolves narrative sandbox? New details about the blood of the Dawnwalker. Immediately 24K. Immediately. They have a huge crowd. This is already at 1 million, but you know what people are going to say. Josh, the editor, comes in here. The Bra says, music is still released on vinyl, CDs, and even cassette. Movies are still released on Blu-ray. Despite the prevalence of digital and streaming for both, there's no reason games cannot continue to be on physical disc. F you, greedy rats, and F your gaming limits. I have canceled my subscription. Play has limits. We are unshelved from PlayStation Plus until you bring back physical games. Now Sony knows this. No matter what, MBG comes and says we want physical game disc. Dom the Bomb says absolute ass pretty much. KGN Gamer comes back again. We want physical disc. Every post, you know, guys, you're going to see it. Here it is. It's already starting up again. The same stuff here. People saying they're canceling their PlayStation Plus. Sony's going to have to do something about this. Half the players, that's pretty funny. I've never seen that one. Nobody cares. This isn't going away. Boycott Sony. Not buying PlayStation 6. No PlayStation 6. Sony is trash. No money for Sony. What's happening? Not buying PlayStation 6. Sony trending. No one cares. We won't be getting these games because we canceled our subscription to your ass service. Now address the disc issue. It's everywhere. They can't get away from this. CEO should be fired. How disconnected is he from the player base? We ain't never letting it go, buddy. I will never buy a Sony product again. Here we go. POV, you just bought a PlayStation game in 2028. F you with the disc, the disc case having nothing in it. Don't care. We want physical games. Everybody is rebelling here. I don't think there's anybody that's on Sony's side. This is tough. So what do you guys think? As usual, leave a comment down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Keep it going. Let's see what happens here. Look, everybody's coming out. Even people that are with Sony. Look, I don't know if you guys seen Naughty Dog's page, right? They have a background with disc all over it, swapping over it. It's pretty interesting if you haven't seen it. It actually made me think whoa, what's going on here? So guys, it's right there. So all you got to do is go to Twitter, go to search, go to Naughty Dog, right? I spelled that wrong. Sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm not used to using this like that. And in their back cover is right here. Do we see this? This is what Naughty Dog did as a reply. Everybody is rebelling against Sony right now. This is crazy. We all see this, right? So there it is, guys. AGN bringing you another video. Sorry I couldn't get on the camera. As I said, it's not all that on this phone. And my internet is out at the moment. I have business, obviously, but these clowns are having another outage. So I couldn't make this video this morning. I wanted to. So it's another one of these moments. So what I'm going to be doing is just doing this until that comes back up. So yeah, give me that like, that hype, help your boy out. Later, keep on gaming no matter what platform you're on. Keep on fighting, guys. This is interesting.